What's going on, everybody? It's AG here. Today we're going to be taking a look at my top 10 most improved teams going in the next college football season. So to qualify for this list, pretty much you've got to be improved, obviously, but I'm looking more at record here. So even if you are super improved, but you're only winning one more game, you're probably not on this list. Okay, so you had to win probably at least two, but most likely more than that to even qualify for this list to begin on here, because there's a lot of improved teams, but record-wise, it's not going to be too much of a difference. I will be putting out a video probably next week on my teams that have dropped the most from last season, so be on the lookout for that as well. And while we're moving along this list, go ahead and join me down in the comment section. Let me know who your most improved teams are. And if you're new here, if you enjoyed this, make sure to subscribe. All right, so first off, starting with our honorable mentions here. So these were pretty close to making the list, but record-wise, looking at their schedule, I didn't see the possibility for too much of a difference, give or take. First off, Iowa State, 7-6. Last season, I think they've got a legitimate shot to win the Big 12. They bring a lot back from last season. Texas Tech, 7-6 in the Big 12 as well. They're going to be improved. I think they got a chance to win the Big 12 as well. It's kind of wide open. They kind of had a down year last year when they were expected to be really good. So usually it's the year after that where teams will bounce back. UCF, 6-7 last season. All right, Gus Malzahn is kind of loaded up this year. Got KJ Jefferson in at quarterback. And they've kind of shored up the lines that I think they're going to be competitive in the Big 12 as well. Georgia Tech, 7-6. All right, they've got Haynes King back at quarterback. I think they're going to be improved, but record-wise, they have a pretty difficult record. So really, they might have a worse record, but I think they're going to be improved competitively. All right, Wisconsin last year, 7-6 as well. Luke Fickell is their head coach. He has improved that roster. You've got Tyler Van Dyke coming in at quarterback from Miami. I think Wisconsin will be improved. USC. All right, so this is a name you might have not thought you would have saw on here. USC last year, 8-5 with Caleb Williams. I'm a big fan of Lincoln Riley. I think he's a good head coach. I know they kind of so-so with Caleb Williams last year, but I think their schedule actually plays out pretty nicely despite moving to probably arguably a tougher conference in the Big Ten. But I think their schedule sets up nicely to win close to double-digit games no matter who the quarterback is, probably Miller Moss. All right, last but not least here, A&M at 7-6 last year. Got Mike Elko coming in. Similar to USC, they have a favorable schedule. I don't know if the team is more talented than last season, but I do think Mike Elko is a good head coach. But their record is probably going to be representative of kind of who they play, okay? So I'm not going to say they're the best, a top 5 team in the SEC, but record-wise, they might end up being that just from the schedule alone. All right, so getting into the top 10, we have two number 10s, okay? So we got 10A and 10B. Both from the same conference, both winning probably 2 or 3 more games. But start off with Virginia Tech. All right, a lot of people's picks, kind of sleeper pick to win the ACC right now. Last year, 7-6. My prediction for them this season is 9-3. So on every team, basically, you'll see I'm going to show what the record was last year and then what I'm predicting the record to be this year. And the further we go down this list, the closer we get to 1 is kind of just a more win margin improvement. But Virginia Tech, I've got going 9-3 right now. I think they've got a shot to be competitive in the ACC title race. They've got a favorable schedule, but they bring back a ton of pieces from last year. That team actually was pretty competitive last year. Even though they were 7-6, I thought they improved tremendously. And I think they're going to be really right in the thick of things when it comes to the ACC race. All right, next up, NC State. All right, I've got them at 10B. Last year, 9-4. Going into the next season, I think they're going to be 11-1. Definitely in the ACC title race right now. They are my pick to be in the college football playoff out of the ACC. Their one loss right now, I've got them losing to Clemson in the regular season and then dipping Clemson in the ACC championship. They do play Tennessee in the non-con as well. That's going to be tough. But Dave Doeren has loaded up this roster. This is his most talented team yet. Pictured, you can see Grayson McCall from Coastal Carolina coming over at quarterback. He's a winner. They also added some serious talent from the Power 5 level out wide at receiver at skill positions. I think NC State's going to be really good this year. All right, number 9, Syracuse. All right, a 2-win improvement for me. Last year, 6-7. This year, I've got them going 8-4 in the ACC. And honestly, looking at their schedule, give or take a game, if they steal a couple games they're not supposed to win, I could easily see them reaching double-digit wins. They've got Kyle McCord coming in at quarterback from Ohio State, former Ohio State starter last year. Fran Brown, how's he going to be as a head coach? The jury's still out. But we know now he can get talent in. They have the number 24 transfer portal class this season. He's loaded up this team. And anytime Syracuse can get Ohio State starting quarterback to be your next starting quarterback, that's a good thing. I think Syracuse is going to be pretty good this year. Our number 8, Utah. Utah, 3-win improvement for me last year, 8 wins. This season, I've got them going 11-1. Got them reaching the Big 12 championship. Big reason for that, they got this guy pictured on here back, Cam Rising. All right, Cam Rising is a proven winner. He's won a lot of ball games. Last year, they were 8-5 without him. Okay, so with the second-string quarterback, with the third-string quarterback, at certain times even a fourth-string quarterback, Utah was able to be competitive last year. Now you add back Cam Rising, one of probably the top 10 quarterbacks in the nation, in my opinion, if not top 5. I think Utah's got a really good chance to win the Big 12. It's wide open. Our number 7, Boise State. Last year, 8-6. This season, I've got them going 11-1. Being in, riding the thick of things for that G5 representative in the college football playoff. Big reason for that, last year they made a head coaching change mid-year. Made Spencer Danielson the interim head coach, promoted him, and they went on a run when he became the head coach all the way to the Mountain West Championship. And a big reason for that, Ashton, Jeanty at running back. He is back. He's going to be an All-American. Another reason, all right, the guy pictured here, quarterback Malachi Nelson, transferring over from USC. I think Boise State's got a legitimate chance this year to be in the college football playoff out of that G5 representative. They play Oregon in the non-con. We're going to be able to see how good they are from that. Our number 6, Miami. All right, 2023, last year they were 7-6. This year I've got them going 11-1. Being right in the thick of things as well for the ACC title race. I don't know how the tiebreaker necessarily going to play out with them, Clemson, NC State. You could also throw Florida State in that as well. Big reason for that, though, this is Mario Cristobal's most talented team I think he has had yet, whether it's at Oregon, whether it's at Miami. You've got Cam Ward coming in at quarterback from Washington State. He's a really good dual threat guy. They've also got Damien Martinez coming in at running back. They just added Tyler Barron, defensive end. They're stacked. All right, Miami has loaded up this roster. They're going after it this year. They're in my preseason top 15. Our number 5, East Carolina. All right, so we're going to go through a couple G5 schools here that probably aren't super high on a lot of people's knowledge, so bear with me. I know y'all want to talk about the Power 4, Power 5 schools, but let's go ahead and talk about East Carolina real quick. Big reason for that, last year, 2-10. This season, I've got them going 8-4. They loaded up in the transfer portal, one of the number 1 G5 transfer portal classes, and the American Conference is kind of up for the taking. All right, SMU left, Tulane's coach left, UTSA lost their quarterback. It's up for grabs. And East Carolina, I think, is going to be right in the competition for it. All right, they've got quarterback Garcia coming in from Missouri. He's been a backup at Missouri, but they just loaded up in the transfer portal with Power 5 guys. I think they're going to be pretty competitive this year. Our number 4, Indiana. All right, last year 3-9. I've got a 5-win improvement here with them going 8-4, sneaking into that top half of the Big Ten. Curt Cignetti comes over from James Madison as the head coach. He's brought a lot of talent in with him, and I think he's going to be an instant improvement as head coach, and they have a really good schedule as well. No reason they can't win at least 8 ball games. Our number 3, Iowa. All right, Iowa returns a lot of their defense last year. I know their offense is hard to watch. I know a lot of people don't like Kirk Ferentz, but the dude wins. Okay, I give him some respect for that. I don't care how his offense looks as long as they win. Last year, 10-4. Again, this year I've got them going 11-1. Their one loss to a team we'll talk about in a little bit, but I think it's going to pretty much come down to the winner of Iowa and the team we're going to talk about in a little bit. I think the winner of that game is going to sneak into the Big Ten championship, and it's not going to be a team you're thinking. But Iowa, their defense is going to be loaded as always. The big question mark here, Cade McNamara at quarterback. Our former Michigan starter, transferred over, got hurt last year, so he didn't play at all. Now, rumors are he's a little iffy if he'll be ready by day 1 of the season. But if he is healthy, Cade McNamara, there's no reason Iowa can't make the Big Ten championship. Their defense is stacked as always. Our number 2, Texas State. All right, Texas State last year 8-5. This year I've got them going 12-0. They have a really favorable schedule. They brought in James Madison's quarterback. Jordan McCloud kind of benefited from Curt Cignetti leaving James Madison and go to Indiana. That meant McCloud could hit the transfer portal. He hit the transfer portal and went to Texas State. And he's a really good dual threat guy, could win the Sun Belt easily. And going 12-0, I'm not saying they could be that G5 representative, but they're definitely going to be in the discussion for it. Now, they play a pretty easy schedule, so, you know, that can't hurt you because you'll get there and get beat down like Liberty did last year. But either way, going 12-0, not a bad thing, and it's definitely possible. Go look at their schedule. All right, number 1. Before I click on it, can you think who it is? Go ahead and take a guess. All right. All right, number 1, Rutgers. All right. Last year, 7-6. This year, I know it sounds crazy right now, but go look at their schedule if you got questions on it. I've got them going 12-0. Now, I think they're easily going to reach double digits. 12-0 might be a little bit of a stretch, but 12-0 is definitely in their own possibility. Let's go who they don't play. Let's go over who they don't play in the Big Ten. They don't play Ohio State. They don't play Penn State. They don't play Michigan. They don't play Oregon. All right, so their toughest games are Iowa and USC. So easily, I think they reach double digits, reaching 10 wins. And then if they beat Iowa and USC, they get to 12-0. This is the team I was talking about. I think the winner of them and Iowa is ultimately going to make the Big Ten championship. And it's definitely in the cards. It's not out of the realm of possibility. I know it sounds crazy talking about it, but a big reason for that, this guy pictured, Kyle Monangai at running back, led the Big Ten in rushing last year. He is back. He's going to be a force this year. He's going to rack up some stats. Rutgers, I think right now, is in the Big Ten championship. Call me crazy. I know it's a little insane, and I might even be way off. There's no telling. But as of right now, I think, like I said, at worst, they're 10-2, losing to USC and Iowa. But I think they can even do that. Now, they also play Virginia Tech non-con. That'll kind of be a big tell right there. They did beat Virginia Tech last year, though. So I think they'll be okay. But let me know your most improved teams for next season down in the comment section. Who would you take off this list? Who would you add to this list? Let me know. Comment down below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe.